A lot of people have been looking or searching for a life partner for years. Some have searched for 5 years, some have searched for 3 years. So today I'll be sharing practical tips, easiest tips to find a life partner using my experience and the experiences of people and friends around me. For you to find a life partner is a great blessing, both biblically and human. It's a decision that could either make your life or mar your life. So you need to be very, very careful and actually very prayerful. So, from my experiences and discussions with people in my matchmaking group, and people have tried to actually link to people, I found out that most people find it difficult to identify who their life partner is. So, today I'll be sharing with you those easiest tips. First, for you to find a life partner, you need to be very, very disciplined and intentional about finding a life partner. Oftentimes, we are very confused about what we want. But for you to actually be very decisive and intentional, first thing you need to do is to actually bring a piece of paper and pen and reflect on what kind of woman or man you want for lifetime. What kind of partner do you think complements your kind of person? In this process, you have to be very honest with yourself. You have to be very real with yourself and be very realistic with the kind of person you are. Some people have criterias or standards they want. Some have places they would want to marry from. So first in your list, write which state or which country you would want your woman or your partner to come from. For example, using some places, some would say I want my woman to come from Enugu State, some would say Imo State, some would say Anambra State, or some would say I want my woman to come from Alaska, some would say California, some would say Texas, and all that. So first, you need to write the geographic location where you would want your woman to come from, if it's important to you. Then any other qualities that is very important to you, you list them down. Some would say I want a tall woman. Some would say I want an average height woman. Some would say I want a short woman. Some would say height doesn't really matter. Some have issues with complexion. Some would say I want a fairer woman. I want a dark woman, and all that. So what is important to you as an individual, list them down and be very meticulous and very, very careful about it. Outside the physical looks, some like people with big boobs, some like people with ass, that's booty. So depending on what's important to you and what you know is real, list them down. Some also have concerns and interests with profession. Some would say I want to marry a doctor, some would say I want to marry a nurse, some would say I want to marry a pharmacist. If profession is important to you as an individual or in a life partner, list it down. Some have issues with faith. I want my woman to be a Christian. I want preferably a Catholic or an Anglican. I don't care about the religion of my partner and all that. Then list these things down and be very meticulous about it. Some people have concerns about their partner's uh, kind of work or business. Some have concerns about the woman, the kind of home he came from. So when you write all these qualities down, then you intentionally and diligently follow them down. How it would influence you is when you meet people on your way, preferably maybe when you get to meet girls, as a guy, and the person is short, probably you like a tall lady, there is no point meeting them or asking them out. Just let them go. Then before you know it, your selection of friends will be tall people. So anytime you see a tall lady, and you feel attracted, meet them, get to know them, keep in touch with them if height is important to you. Then over time, you would find out that most of your friends are tall people. So you've excluded short ladies. From the list of the tall people, you come down to second criteria: which profession did this person study? Which profession did this person study? From there, you begin to narrow down your qualities or the things you want in a woman. Then over time, you will find out that of all the random people you meet daily, you've narrowed down the ladies or the guys you want in your DM, your contacts. They are now the specific spec you want, though you may not get 100% in them. That is where you have to be real and make adjustments. I'll use my story for instance. When I was looking for my wife, I had qualities I was looking for in a woman. I had always wanted to marry from my state, though I was open to marrying from anywhere. But my parents had their own desires, which is why so many people are still single till today. Even when I was in university, they keep telling me, "We want you to marry from our village. We want you to marry from our village." And I never supported such idea. I had to discuss with them prior before I even got ready for marriage. I told them I'm open to marry from anywhere, and I wasn't justified with their reason of me marrying from our village. So I noticed they keep on disturbing me over time. So I had to give them the contract. Say, okay, go ahead. I give you 3 months or 6 months. Find someone you think is okay for me if you really want me to marry from my village. And after the whole month, they couldn't come up with any. Then my parents, when they see you as a lady, they will meet you. Ah, my son wants to marry you, and they would connect me with you. And when I see you, I wasn't interested. They also had concerns with the kind of man I want, what the person does. They wanted me to marry a medical personnel, and I tried to tell them that yeah, I know your reasons for me to marry a medical personnel is because maybe they have availability of job and all that, but I wasn't interested in profession. I needed to marry someone I care about, and they perfectly understood my reasons. So many people are still held back because of the decisions of their parents, what their parents would say, and all that. So if you are the type of person that their family or their parents had great influence in your marriage, in making your considerations and your list, you need to put them into consideration. If you are not the kind of person that can easily convince them that, oh, this is what I want, and let them understand your reasons for wanting what you want, then you need to include them in your list and know how you can handle that. So over time, I found out that I had a life to live, and my wife is mine. It's my decision and my duty to actually find who would be my wife. So I started taking my time to narrow down my list, made a list of people I wanted. I want an average height woman who is working or probably has this mindset of, okay, building with a man. I had to narrow down and start searching for. And along the line, I found out that there were a lot of confusions from people because I match people and I meet a lot of good girls. And as a man, for me to actually get what I wanted, the best woman I wanted, I noticed I had to be very disciplined. I had to be very, very disciplined about it. So when I talk to you and you are not the kind of woman I want, I immediately shut down relationship communication with you. And over time, I found out that I had very little cycle of girls. I was like, okay, these people are in my list. So it's now time for me to make the best decisions. So this way I was able to separate all the confusions to the very few people I wanted to actually settle down with. Then, aside from making your list, another thing that could help you to actually get married or find a partner is referrals. I've always believed in referral. Most times, people around us, our friends, our relatives, know us better than we think we know ourselves. Someone knows you that, oh, you are this jolly good fellow with good vibes. You actually need someone to compliment you. You are this type of person that loves this. You need this type of person to compliment you. And oftentimes we are not aware of this. So when you tell people that actually know you, that care about you too, find or refer people to you is one of the best ways you can actually get along. Now, look at the funny thing. When I was looking for my wife, she was very close to me. I couldn't even realize it. Funny enough, the last time we saw, she asked me to take her serious that she admires me. I gave her flimsy excuses, and I was even looking for a wife. Then I was talking to people that didn't even care about me. They were giving me lots of excuses. So my sister kept on calling my attention to her that this girl loves me so much and she has all the qualities I want. You know, sometimes when you have something, you don't value it until you lose it. So I wasn't really paying attention. I was looking for some other things. So after so many years, I had to actually reflect and I became very, very intentional about who I want to marry. And suddenly she posted on her WhatsApp and I replied to her story. I said, "This was how you were beautiful before." She laughed and said, "I'm still beautiful." Then I had to mention what was laying me. She said she loved me, but I was running away from her. And I said I wasn't running away, that she was adding weight massively the way I don't want it. She was like, "Oh, really?" That she don't like the way she's starting. She wanted to hit the gym, but she's been lazy. So I said, "That's why I've been staying away from you." And the thing immediately hit her. She was like, "Oh, because of this, I'll take gym serious and I'll work out to slim down." And the next day, she registered for gym and started working out. So one thing made me stick close to talk more with her and find out that, oh, this is it. She was ready to learn. She was ready to learn. Some people are not teachable. I know you can't find 100%. And when you see people you think you want to settle down with, and maybe they don't have the features you want to teach them, okay, I like this, I like that. Some will be very adamant to say, no, this is who I am. And if you don't like me this way, go. Such people are not for you because marriage is for lifetime. If someone really cares about you, the best they can do is to learn. They can adjust their life because everything is teachable. The best they can do is to learn. I told my wife I don't like too heavy women, the way you're adding weight. She immediately understood it and she decided to hit the gym to maintain her weight, which she actually achieved results. So, but there were other ladies from my list which I told I don't like the way they were adding weight. I need them to watch and monitor their weight. They picked offense. They sounded as if I was body shaming them, and I just apologized and ended the chat. That was how I picked out my wife from my remaining list. So I advise you, from your list, when you have this small cycle, other things that are important to you that you shouldn't overlook is someone that is teachable, someone that is ready to learn, someone that is ready to improve, to actually match your kind of person. In other words, however, you too should be ready to match and change your ways to match her kind of person. Because I believe in marriage is about 50-50, or A complementing B to become one. So if someone is actually not ready to learn or improve, there is no point trying to stick with such a person. I've also heard stories from people I try to match. They said the a situation whereby a girl will tell you, baby, you know I don't know how to cook or I don't like cooking. And when you try to teach them, they are not even ready to learn. They prefer you buying food from the market or you cooking yourself all the time. It doesn't really sound healthy for a lifetime relationship. It doesn't really sound healthy for marriage. It's better for a man that loves food, that loves to eat. He would probably go well with a lady that loves to cook or a lady that loves kitchen affairs. You can't expect a man that loves eating food to buy food all the time, all his lifetime. So when you notice such, the best you can do is to let them go and move on. What I tell people is there is always someone for everyone. There is always your match. You just need to take your time. You just need to be intentional about finding them. Okay, do not compromise because I love this person, because I want this, I have to key myself into it. You have to be very intentional about finding who the person is. Another very important thing you need to take note of is red flags. So many people ended up in wrong marriages today. So many people ended up with wrong partners today because they overlooked red flags. Red flags, I mean, I understand that no one is 100%, but there are some rigid red flags you cannot overlook in a woman. Something that is very important to you as an individual, you should pay very, very good attention to it. You should be very, very intentional about it. If you know you cannot cope with something for ages, there is no point trying to even get along with it in the first beginning. Think of who you are. What kind of person are you? What do you love doing? Are you able to do without this? And the person you are trying to get along with is not ready to actually adjust or get along with you. There is no point calling the person your partner or trying to get married to the person. I've had experiences when I was single. People I liked, they had the looks, they had the physical being, and when we get together knowing each other, I notice there are things I love doing that they don't love me. I'm a very jolly good fellow. I love music. I love playing like a baby. And the other one said that I play too much and she doesn't like it. She likes a man that is too mean, someone that she can be scared of, someone that she can respect. She wants an older man. I just laughed and there was no point forcing it. I tried to adjust and see if I can be this calm guy, but it was like I was in hell. So the best I could do is just let it go. The other lady was like, "Oh, you love your romantic time. I'm not this sexual kind of person. I'm a sexual. I don't like sex. I don't like romantic times. I just want business, business." I say, my day, I love business, quite all right. I also love my romantic time. I love my sexual life. And I know it's something I cannot cope with. So I just had to let go, irrespective of the fact that they were very beautiful. But then I had to let go because these are things that are important to me. I've also heard stories of people that they saw obvious red flags, but because they wanted people to say, "Oh, your wife is beautiful, your husband is cute, your husband is rich," they went ahead to get married, and at the end of the day, they come back crying, they come back with regret. So I overlooked them and moved on. I also came across a lady that said I snore and snoring for her is a reason for divorce, that she's a light sleeper, she cannot cope, and all that. Such reason that someone already said to you is very important to them. Why do you want to force yourself on such people? I had to let go. And when I met my wife, I told her, look at the reasons why people say they couldn't get along with me. She just laughed, and these things were nothing to her. In short, when you snore, she even sleeps like a baby. Is nothing to her. Her sexual life very active. She gets along with you, and she's vibing. So this actually took me time to find her, but the time I spent looking for her, waiting for what was important to me was worth it. So many people in my DM has had several issues and complaints over their girlfriend, but because they just care about what people will say, they tend to overlook red flags. So I advise you to actually pay very deep attention to red flags, and when you see red flags, avoid them. When you see red flags, avoid them, because I'm certain if you go ahead to get along with such a person after 2 months, 3 months of marriage, you will regret getting into the marriage in the first place. So pay attention to red flags and move on. Then lastly, you should pray. Lastly, you should pray. No matter who you are getting on with, pray. Pray that God gives you this this grace to discover who actually is your wife. Pray that God gives you this grace to be disciplined. Pray that God gives you this grace to know who she is when you meet her, because most people have ended up with wrong partners because they were indisciplined. They failed to understand who was and who wasn't. Some were lured away by physical looks. Oh, because the lady has a good sexy shape, you forgot that this you are looking for a wife, not just for one night stand or something. Some people have been deceived by looks because this girl is like a model. she's mine, irrespective of her red flags. I tell people marriage is not about looks, it goes beyond looks. It's basically about personality. It's about who cares about what you care about. What's important to me as a guy is not may not be important to you as a guy. No matter what's important to you, the best you could do is to stick with it, be disciplined about it, and pray that you stick with it. Do not be lured by physical looks. Do not be lured by what people will say. Do not be lured about pressure from family or from friends. Just stick to what's actually important to you, and at the end of the day, you'll be happy you made that choice. You'll be happy you ended up with someone that can actually vibe today with you. And at the end of the day, you'll find it very easy to get your life partner. So many people are close to their life partner every time. They are very there, you see them every day, but you haven't discovered it. When people say bestie, 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 when I'm sad, I call my bestie, he makes me smile. When I'm sad, I call my bestie, he makes it this, he buys it for me, he makes choices for me. And I ask them, if this person is actually your bestie, and he knows everything about you, he makes you happy, why not date the person and end up getting married to them? Do you have to go and start a new relationship with a stranger? At the end of the day, you come back regretting. For someone to be your bestie, it means, oh wow, this person, we have things in common, this person actually cares about me. What's difficult about getting along with them and making life together, starting life or living life together with them? So if someone is your bestie and you really care about them, you look forward to hearing from them, you look forward to spending time with them, give it a thought, meditate, reflect on it, and see if two of you actually match. If you match, be open to express your feelings, and you never can tell, your partner may be your friend. My wife has always been there. We have known each other for years, just that I wasn't paying attention to her. I was moving around looking for different girls. I couldn't realize it till later on, when I had to, when I prayed for the grace of discernment, and I had to give it a big thought. And I found out that she has been there all along, just that I couldn't pay attention to her. Which I know is the story of most people, because you always want the desire to meet new people, the desire to always get something new keeps you away from who is supposed to make you happy. And the funny thing about these people is those people even care about you so much. Like, they really want you, but deep down they are scared of, if I tell you about how I feel about you, it may break our friendship. We are getting old and life is better in twos. Why not open up and just say it? You never can tell what happens from there. And by the end of the day, by the end of the year, you get married to who you like. And when people say marry your best friend, you beat your chest and smile and say, wow, I married my best friend. So I wish you well on your search for looking for a life partner. Subscribe to this channel, stick around for relatable life experiences on getting happy and amazing relationships. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share this message. You never can tell who needs the message. Tell me your story in the comment section and look out for my next videos. Thanks. Remember to keep it cool. You will like it. Cheers, mates.